I got a God who takes good care of me. Don't want for nothing, he gives generously. Overflowing blessings more than I can see. My provider, so faithful is he. I got a God who takes good care of me. Don't want for nothing, he gives generously. I'm provided, I'm guided, I can walk carefree. Yeah, I got a God who takes good care of me.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to Karen's Life Chronicles. I am here with another video to talk about what happens when you take the L. I had a very great experience last week and yesterday because my dear friend, Coach DK, is an assistant coach at Osborne Park High School in Manassas, and the girls basketball team just won their game last night, which means they are on their way to the state championships in Richmond next week. So kudos, kudos, kudos. Very excited, very happy for the players, the coaching staff, as well as the parents and the fans. This video is really interesting to me for a couple of reasons because I celebrate basketball. If you already don't know, I am basketball adjacent. I never played, but I spent all of my life being raised by a head basketball coach, being around basketball players all the time, and actually being on the court. When I was younger, I had a real decent three-point shot. Wasn't as athletic as probably my father would have liked for me to be, but I love sports and I love basketball. So last night was a great experience. You're gonna see footage coming up next of the huddle and the this amazing three point shot. I'm gonna stop talking now so that you can enjoy that completely. The gymnasium just lit up. I mean, just amazing basketball playing. Again, I just got to give OP a hand and a round of applause. All the way home, though, I was thinking about the opposing team and what they learned last night from their loss. I don't have a lot of footage from their play, and I may throw up a video while I'm talking with no sound. The team played well. Their offense was stellar. Their offense was stellar. There were a couple of players that I was just like beast mode. And I hate to call out players in their numbers because I don't know this team very well, but number 23, if you ever come across this video, number 23, you a hooper, you a baller. I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of your career, maybe WNBA, I don't know. But your defense, your ball handling, everything that you put up was not just went in, and that's not a true test of of your execution, and maybe it is because that's the whole point of making the buckets. You drove to the basket, your ball handling, your passing game, like you were absolutely amazing. I don't know what else you could have done last night. You put it all out there. Your teammates did a stellar job. Again, you caught my attention because you were just really hooping, and so you still lost. I know it hurts, and I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound. It's just that it started me thinking that just holistically their game was good, and yet they still didn't win. So what happens to us in life when we've checked all the boxes, we've done everything that we know how to do, and we still come up with the L? And what you do and what we do after that moment makes a world of difference in the trajectory of where we're going, where God wants us to go, and our mindset on how we adjust fire. And it just made me very introspective in that there are things that are happening in my life that I think that I'm doing the thing that my hands are up, that I'm posting out, that I'm passing the ball, my ball handling skills are good, and I'm making the buckets, and yet still there's some areas of my life where I'm taking some L's, and I want to unpack it, and I want to talk about it because I learned a lot from watching these young ladies not just hoop but execute, and I want to just reflect on a few things. There's the what. Reflecting specifically on the loss. When things don't work out in our lives, whether you are an athlete, whether you're a student, professional, regardless of your field, there is a moment where we replay the tape. If you are an athlete, you already know what I'm talking about, where you look at the game and you assess what went well and what went not so well. And in our lives, we often don't take the time to replay the tape. Sometimes we go real heavy on emotion. We go real heavy on disappointment, and frustration, negativity, and some of us go into depression when things don't end up our way. And if you are not willing to replay the tape and be honest, and I encourage you to maybe do this alone, but have somebody with you when you replay the tape to help give you perspective, that is a good thing to do. So the team that didn't make it, not sure if they're going to replay the tape, they need to be proud of themselves for getting to the game yesterday. They absolutely need to be proud of themselves for getting there. And for those seniors and those juniors and those underclassmen, you all and the coaching staff, you definitely got to look at the tape because it's going to show us some things. And let me tell you something. In my life, in a couple of areas where I'm taking some hits, I had to sit and replay that tape. My replaying of the tape starts with prayer because if I'm not in the right frame of mind, I'm going to inject a lot of Karen, and that ain't good. I need to inject the Holy Spirit. I need to inject my foundational Christian principles so that I am filtering all of the things that I'm seeing through the lens and the value system of God's word, first and foremost. So let's just get to the tape. Karen, did you give it your all? There are a lot of times where I am phoning things in because of time or because I've gotten complacent. Did you truly execute the way that you practice? Did you go hard in practice and then when you got to that point where you had to deliver, were there areas where you made shortcuts? What was going on during those moments? Have you been consistent in executing? I'm going to stop using that word because that doesn't fit every situation. Have you been consistent in communication? Have you been consistent in showing up? Are there days where you just like I don't feel like it? And then maybe that day turned into days. And so by the time you got to where you needed to perform or where you needed to do the thing, pick a thing, you just weren't where you thought you were going to be. You can learn a lot from playing the tape and making that assessment and being honest with yourself. And to be transparent, I have lost a bit of discipline when it comes to some of the things that I'm taking L's in right now. Now there are some things that I cannot control, and there's some areas where it doesn't matter what I do, somebody else is going to be making decisions. But again, to quote my one of my favorite coaches, DK, control the controllables. I have to admit, when I wrote the tape in a couple of circumstances, recent ones, yeah, you slacking. That discipline that you thought you had, that discipline that you were doing, you got busy, you got, you know, started doing other things and you lost your focus. And in understanding where the L comes from, or maybe where it wasn't the win that you wanted. You still got to win, but you kind of slid in there. That reflection is really important. And again, I encourage you to do it with honesty. I encourage you to pray first so that the lens by which you are assessing yourself is one that is not clouded by your own feelings and emotions. All right. And the last thing I said in that first statement about the what is my focus was not where it is and I wasn't disciplined. And so that honesty is hurtful. Sometimes. The truth about, yeah, you said you wanted to lose weight and you were on a path, but let me just go through all of the Amazon orders of the snacks and all of the candy that you've been eating and all of the sweets. Like, you can't go a day or two without having a sweet thing, and you're not drinking the water like you used to. And I was just like, yeah. And guess what? The scales reflect that, honey. The scales are moving in a direction that we don't want. And so I need to regain focus. And discipline is at the root of our focus. When we lack it, when we slacken on it, not only will we lose focus, but that focus takes us away from where we were when we were going hard in the paint. And I like that movie quote from Jackie Chan in the new Karate Kid: your focus needs more focus. So when we take that L, how do we get back to focus? Well, one, you've got to acknowledge and assess. That's the replaying the tape. And then you've got to get back to the things that you acknowledge in the tape that maybe you're not so disciplined on, that you need to refocus. And then you need to regain the focus. This is why you really need to pray before you start doing this, because we will come up with reason and excuse after reason and excuse for why we didn't and what we could have done. And we will sometimes mask that as venting. We will mask that as, man, I just got to get my emotions out. I got to deal with it. I don't like losing again. For the other team last night, it was a long ride home because some dreams were not met, right? Some expectations were not fulfilled. And so when we get caught up in emotion, so much so that it takes us longer to get back to focus, which is why you've got to arrest those things. Now, hear me when I say this: men and women, boys and girls of all ages, there is nothing wrong with emoting. I'm going to be the first person to tell you that you need to feel all the feels. I was with my sister a week ago now, maybe a couple weeks ago, and something happened, and she was just like, I messed up, and she had to go through that. And I knew there was nothing that I could say to her that was going to make her feel better in that moment about what happened. So I said, it's going to be okay, but I'm going to let you feel the feels. I'm going to let it sting. I'm going to let you spend some time in the sting. And then if it's too long, then I'm going to have to say, hey, let's keep moving. Let's keep pressing. It'll be okay. I didn't have to go full on in there, but I did have to say it. And sure enough, it was okay. Things went on, and they went moving in the direction that we wanted them to go. So I'm not saying don't spend time emoting. It's important. One of the worst things that we can do is to keep our emotions in so tight and then move on, because those emotions physiologically find their ways in our bodies, especially if you are one that does not move regularly. Those emotions will sit in your chest, and somebody will come along and not realize that they're stepping on a landmine, and then the next thing you know, stuff is blowing up. Feel the feels, but let's do it in a way that is healthy. Let's do it in a way that is going to allow you to get back to what the real thing is. And that's why you can't do it in isolation. You may look at the tape alone first so that you can get the initial shock of, man, I missed a couple layups. Man, I missed several free throws. Or, man, when I was called on to submit that paper, I thought I had enough time, but what I submitted was C work when I thought it was A work. Yeah, feel that. Dig into it. You need to feel it so that you won't have, so it won't happen again. So that's all a part of what I call regaining focus. And you can do it. Just don't stay too long with that emotion. And for those of you out there that are friends, that have people in your life, family members, where you are activated and called upon to be the person that rides alongside the person that vents, this is for you too, because you know them better than anybody else. It is your responsibility to be there and sit with them in the mud, sit with them in the disappointment, sit with them when they're hurting, sit with them when they're crying, pray for them as they go through it. Don't let them sit there too long. It is your responsibility. You can't control them, but it's your responsibility to be prayed up so that you can hold them and where the broken parts are, but you can also be there with truth and love. You can be there with a perspective that says, I know you're hurting and this is true. Two things can be true, but we can also move on from this. That is so, so, so important. This was not even in my script, but as I'm talking and I'm remembering all the family members, the coaches, the mentors, the my spouse that has been there and sat with me and wasn't sure how to help me move forward because I emote in such a way that he doesn't know what to do or my sisters didn't know what to do. I am now learning to give people language that says, hey, this is an L, this hurts. I need to complain, I need to stomp, trying to stop guessing. I need to say some words. And then there's going to be a point where I need help in moving me forward. And that's one of the ways that I get over my L is that I am learning to help people help me, even if it means you got to say, Karen, shut up. I need you to listen to me right now because you're too emotional. And y'all know that I don't handle talk like that very well, but I need it. I need it. This is all about helping me move forward and helping us all move forward. And last but not least, I got to my point, move forward with intention. Just don't move forward haphazardly. You're not running the tape back to put salt in the wound. You're running the tape back so you can see and see if you can identify ways that you can adjust. So maybe it isn't a discipline issue. Maybe it was timing. Maybe you said yes to too many things, and by the time that really important thing culminated, you found yourself here, there, and everywhere, and you didn't give it that full attention that it needed so that win can be a win. There's some wins and there's a win. Like, you know what I'm talking about, that win where you say it with your chest. Sometimes the wins we have are whispers because we barely made it in. We need to move forward with intention so our wins can come from here, so they can be true and honorable. And we can say, I did everything. I was disciplined. I was focused. I laid it on the line. I prioritized. I did everything that I could do. And so I walk away from that thing good. Even if it doesn't work out exactly how I wanted to, but we know when we don't fully give it our best. And when we take the L, if you're not careful, that L will sit there for a minute longer than it needs to. And it's going to slow you down from getting to where you need to be. And sometimes when we take the time to move forward with intention, we can have some redos. Lord, we got to give God praise and honor for the redos, for the do-overs, for the times where we thought that this was the last shot, and then next thing you know, that other opportunity comes. Well, what happens when God blesses you with another opportunity? He puts you at the free throw line again. You got the +1 or the +2, and then you at the free throw line again, and you get the additional opportunity to put points on the board, and you still not ready. You still not bending your knees and aiming for the square. You still not doing the fundamentals. So that's why all of this is important. So when you get the opportunity to step forward again, or you get the opportunity to bless and lay into somebody else, so it's their opportunity and they get the benefit from your L. We need to give God glory. We need to acknowledge and thank Him for the opportunity and then move in it. Move in it with intention. Move in it knowing and trusting and believing that everything that God set out for you is going to come to pass. I don't know why I'm getting so amped about this. I think it's because it's basketball and I'm still riding high on that win that OP got. And I'm also looking at the team that didn't get the win. I'm speaking to you. If you took an L recently, if you had something happen and you were counting it like it was a big one and it just didn't work out, I am here to tell you that all is not lost. We need to reflect on it. I need you to run that tape back. I need you to do it in isolation, maybe one time. And after that, think about who you can rerun the tape with someone that you trust, someone who is wise, someone who's not going to be team trouble is what I call it. Pray, please pray, y'all. I don't care where you are or where you think you are, whether you think God doesn't hear you, whether you think He does. First of all, He does. He loves you very much. I've said that many times. I'm going to say it again. In this process of recovery, we need to understand that we need people to come beside us, and those people are going to be in the mud with us, but they are also people that can wipe us off, wipe themselves off, and we climb out of that thing together. Focus. Keep the focus. Keep the thing the main thing, and what will help you with that is discipline. I am going to implement today habits that I said I was going to do, that when life gets all busy, that I don't fully implement, that I skirt a couple of days here, a couple of days there, and then the next thing you know, when it's time for me to deliver the thing, I'm not exactly where I need to be. I'm going to do better with that, and I'm going to ask people to hold me accountable. So those of you out there, you know who you are. You're about to get a text message on accountability from me. And move forward with intention. Don't just do haphazard. Take the time to pour into you and spend the time to work on things that are going to move you forward. And I didn't say this when I went through it the first time, so I'm going to add it in here for free. You may need to completely wipe and start over. You may not need to pick up where you left off. You may need to say, that ain't work. It didn't work for me. And so I need to do a new thing. And let me try this new thing. Let me try this new intentional thing. Let me be refocused. Let me try something and just see if it works. Don't be afraid to try something new if what you were doing wasn't working, even if you didn't give it your full time and your full attention. Make the commitment to go all the way so that you truly do know when it's time to adjust or when it's time to scrap it and start over. This has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience for me. I don't know about you. I am encouraged. I am thankful. I am excited for OP. I am even excited for the team that lost. Those players that were seniors, y'all did y'all thing. Those players that weren't seniors, look at the players that did their thing, model their behavior, and come back next year ready to rock and roll, ready to learn, ready to make the buckets, ready to give practice, ready to run them suicides if that's what y'all got to do, ready to do everything that you need to do to meet your goal. I, for one, believe in you, and I know that you can do it. I'm going to post in the chat some things that I have been doing. I keep saying I'm going to post, and I keep asking you all to post, but I want you to post in the chat, what are some things that you are going to do after the L to get back on track? We learn from each other, and I learn from you. So I may start this in the community so that you can see, and I'll post about my results because I'm honest. I'm not where I want to be in a couple of areas, and I will share those so that we can learn together and take this journey together. Before I end the video, I want you to understand who I am. My name is Karen Felton. I post and put on YouTube life journey, like what's going on in my life and what I'm learning from it. I am a woman of faith, and I just want to humbly thank my husband for the new video that you saw at the beginning. This song, My God Takes Care of Me, My Promises, I think that's what the name of it is. But regardless of those two names, what you need to do is listen to the music. It should be playing right now. He produced it, he came up with the lyrics. He is an amazing, talented individual, and he loves the Lord. And because he loves God, he knows that there's a God that's going to take care of me, and that same God is going to take care of you. Like and subscribe. We're happy to have you in my community, and I need you to have an amazing day. All right, y'all. Until the next video, have a good one. Bye for now. He puts food on my table when money is tight. He gives me a warm bed so I can sleep at night there.